Hello, I'm Noah with Hayden Homes Warranty Department here in Albany, Oregon. I'm joined by Ryan here with JB Instant Lawn and Nursery. We're going to talk about crane flies and how to treat and take care of your yard during the winter months. Ryan, what is a crane fly?
Well, it's an insect. Crane fly, a lot of people call them mosquito eaters. They look like kind of like a large mosquito. But that's not really the insect stage that you're concerned about. It's the early stage of the insect, the larva, that does the damage to the lawn. And so it's a lot of people call those leather jackets. It's kind of a worm-looking, maggot-looking kind of critter that's in your lawn. And if the population gets high enough, it can do a considerable amount of damage. So,
When would you and how would you treat for that kind of insect?
So a lot of people start to see the damage from the crane fly larva in early spring, and so naturally they're thinking, I got to get out there and treat with that insecticide. But fortunately, with this particular insect, it's very easy to control if you take a proactive approach and put down your insecticide sometime in late fall, mid-fall, Thanksgiving is a good rule of thumb. So if you get that down, and that should kill the population, and that way in spring you come out clean.
How do you manage your lawn during the year? Like, what steps should you be taking and when to help keep your lawn healthy and green?
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you said and when, because and when is a real important part. Timing is really critical when it comes to the maintenance of these living plants. So, let's start with fertilizer. 3 to 4 times a year. I like to use a holiday schedule, which is easy to remember. And so basically Easter, Memorial Day, Labor Day, and Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And if you can get a pound of nitrogen or a little under a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet of the turf at those times, essentially your lawn will stay pretty healthy throughout the year. And that's one of the main things that's going to help as far as you being protected from things like crane fly or funguses, diseases, different types of pests. So fertilizer at those times a year, and then not all fertilizers are created equal. The JB signature fertilizer that we would recommend is a 25-0-10, but it also has a 5% non-staining iron. But the critical thing is it should be, once your lawn is established, you should be using a high nitrogen product, and a good portion of that should be slow release nitrogen.
Okay.
And then when you make those applications at those times, you should really be in good shape. A couple other things, that I think that things that a lot of people skip or don't consider. A big one is aeration. Try and think of aerating your lawn as basically fertilizing your lawn with oxygen rather than nitrogen. So aerating the lawn, and another one would be liming in the fall. But essentially the biggest thing to think about is keeping the lawn as healthy as you can throughout the year, and you'll generally avoid most issues. Crane fly can be an exception, but you make that Thanksgiving application, especially if you're seeing a revisit each year by that particular insect.
Right.
Sometimes you can break the cycle and then keep the lawn healthy, and you don't have to necessarily apply, just scout for it in the spring.
Okay. So what happens if someone missed their fertilizer? Should they just do it as soon as they remember, or should they just wait till the next benchmark as far as fertilization?
Yeah, it's like a lot of things, depending on how close you are to that next fertilizer application. But if it were me, I'd probably go ahead and apply that fertilizer if you've missed it, because chances are it's going to set you back. Really, you need consistency. You don't want the peaks and the valleys of the health and the vigor of the lawn. You really want to stay as consistent as possible.
Okay. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
The question I get asked the most. When should someone first mow their lawn once after the sod has been installed? How long should they wait? What should they be looking for? Those types of things.
So depending on the time of year, it can be a little different, but generally speaking, you want to wait until the lawn has really rooted in. You want to be able to tug on it and see that it's well rooted. That's usually about 2.5, 3 weeks in. And, if you're in the middle of a growing season, the other suggestion I would make is that before you get on it, that first day of mowing, is if it's being irrigated, which it usually is, it's a new lawn, it's getting a little extra water. The night before, just turn off the irrigation entirely.
Okay.
Give the lawn a chance to firm up, so when you get on it, it's nice and firm. And then don't cut more than 30% of that grass off in one shot. So if you have pretty tall grass, and that can sometimes be the case if it's growing quickly, you're in the middle of growing season, just cut a third off, wait a few days, firm it up again, cut it, and start to kind of lower it down and make sure that you're not taking too much off at a time. If you do, it can really shock the lawn. All the carbohydrate reserve is within those leaves, and so you're going to really remove a lot of its health all at once.
Right.
So you want to kind of incrementally bring that down.
Again, thank you, Ryan, for coming out today. This is Ryan from JB Instant Lawn and Nursery.